Now you can contribute more, you know. You can contribute more now. With so much experience in your hand.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you
Good morning.
can you listen me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah, we can.
We can hear you.
Okay.
So, if you can tell me who will be representing PKSF, because we were expecting Kader Bhai.
Yeah, actually, I am
continue
working in PKSF
Yes.
last 10 years about environment, climate change, and sustainable green climate fund.
Okay. 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 Mr. Kadir is not there?
Actually, I think Kadir is available in today. I think he can join.
Right. No, no issue. No issue.
No.
Thanks.
तो मेरे पास उनका फोन नंबर है.
So how is everything in Myanmar?
Actually, no.
No,
I am
I'm asking Omar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Yeah. Today we are trying to be resilient and stay facing some challenges, as you
Great.
know. Yeah, some conflicts between the in some area, and also the inflation, unstable inflation. It's also
Right.
so. But in this year, we found the results. Some of the MFI, it's better conditions. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
That's-
Wonderful.
yeah.
Wonderful. From Cambodia, I think we have joined. Tongni is there?
Hi, I'm Tongni from CMA, but I have another colleague, Mr. Wong Pakini, who will be presenting as well. Nice to see you, everyone.
Wonderful. Happy to see you again.
Good afternoon. I'm Sambat Pat from the National Bank of Cambodia. I'm along with my other two colleagues. We are from the Sustainable Finance team of the National Bank of Cambodia. Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome.
So we will go for a round of this
We're just
introduction.
waiting for
Wait for
a couple of minutes more. I think Prasun has joined. Not joined. April. He has to join.
How many have?
13 are there. Putting us. Did we already ask it? Hi, Agya. Good morning. You're mute, I suppose. Not able to hear you. Can't hear you, Doctor. So that's it. He's joined. Prasun has joined. Good morning, Prasun.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Great. We have a CGM NABARD with us. We have representatives from Cambodia, Myanmar.
Good morning.
and Bangladesh. Then which other come to?
Cambodia.
Cambodia is there, of course.
Bangladesh,
Bangladesh,
Where is
Cambodia,
Nepal?
Myanmar. How about Nepal? Ram Bahadur was to do.
Have we invited China also?
Yes.
We got a few confirmation from like Bank of Ceylon. Then China any confirmation came?
No. We invited them, but there was no response from their end. So,
Okay.
no, that's what we got from this. No? So it should be, right.
Oh, Myanmar.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
Mr. Brassen. Yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Yes. Yes, fine. Thanks.
Good. Yeah, there are more people joining.
Yeah, I think another 5 minutes we can wait. So
Yep,
just
correct.
11:03, maybe another 2-3 minutes we can.
Right.
Hi, good morning. Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, audible.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Okay.
You cannot join? Really?
Pardon?
Why is that? I also cannot see it. Okay. Yeah, but this is in yeah. Sorry.
Hello, Anshukan.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you all again.
Yes, good to see you once again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Suparna is also here.
Hi, I'm Mr.
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Taneja?
Doing fine. Absolutely. How are you doing?
Absolutely fine. I think we last interacted in 21 or 2021, I guess.
Yes, thereabouts. Yeah, quite a while ago.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Nepal has Nepal Bankers Association.
Flowers, huh? Okay.
Salin soap. Huh? Now it's still
ये सब हाँ वो सब बॉय को मैंने भेजी हुई हैं, आप बॉय से लेना, मैं अभी नहीं ढूंढ सकती हूँ, सब बॉय के पास होती हैं.
Arpita, good morning. Good morning.
Apologies, sorry, Vijay.
No issue.
Just
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
I'll just switch off my camera and mic. Yeah.
Papua ini bulan ini das. उसका फोन नंबर उसको देखा श्रीलंका आ गया है नबार्ड आ गया है
Sydney. Let's talk to Mr. Rajiv. As it is, it's a small group we have called, maybe around 25 to 30 people. So another 3-4 should be joining. Council? Okay.
Memory is somewhere. इसमें है ये running of tomorrow. इसमें
Shall we start?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Let us start. So, because we are already 11:08, and people are still joining. We are very happy to see this many people from different countries. They have joined. So, formally welcome all of you. So this is just to give you introduction that we were saying that first of all we need to inform you that Sagan and Apraka, Sagan in association and support of Apraka basically, we have developed an association of associations like network of networks across Asia Pacific region, and what we are seeing that many countries they are having same kind of issues, same kind of challenges, and they have done wonderful. Their endeavors are wonderful. We can learn from each other, we can share the experience, we can have exchange, and also build up the capacities of each other. So Sadhan in the past, we have organized this kind of that was a project basically to build up the capacity of 12 national association in Asia, Africa, and Asia and Africa region. So we wanted to take it forward because many of us we do have a lot of experience. We need to share it for the larger good. So we have developed this one, and one of the areas we could understand that we need to work on in this geography is on the climate resilient microfinance, and we had our first meeting of Nomnar virtually. Then subsequently, during Sadhan's national conference last year, there was a formal meeting, and this one is the fourth meeting. Fourth meeting means this is now taking shape. We are very happy that it is taking shape, and we have started doing a strategic intervention in the area. So this is the first of its kind, and we pulled up the national associations and other kind of institutions who are supporting for developing the climate resilient microfinance segment, and we will do the brainstorming session. So we didn't invite any external stakeholders. So this is like very internal discussion where we can discuss about our status, where we can discuss about our challenges, we can discuss about our way forward to work in this segment. We are very happy to get ADB also over here. We'll be listening from them. So over to you, Dr. Prasoon Das, Secretary General Apraka, for your welcome address.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Saibal. Good afternoon from Bangkok, and good morning to all of you. Colleagues from, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, colleagues from various parts of this region. I think, as already mentioned by Saibal, that we have formally established this network of the networks, which is as named by Sadhan as Nomnar, and Apraka is supporting it. Apraka also has some members from various region who also are interested to see how this network is working. So we have also invited them. I welcome all of them. And on behalf of Apraka, I would like to welcome to this webinar, as I think this is not a Nomnar meeting. Rather, it's we term it as a webinar on emergence of climate resilience, financing to salvage poor people from distress, which is being jointly organized by Apraka and Sadhan. My sincere gratitude to my friend Gigi and his dedicated team in Sadhan for making it possible to organize this workshop of Nomnar within very short period of time. I also welcome the colleagues from NABARD, Asian Development Bank, HSBC, Microfinance Association, 5 countries and other members of Apraka who joined this webinar. One thing before, actually, when we were discussing with Gigi, what we actually found that we generally, in the banking system, we generally don't think that the microfinance institutions will be much interested in in the climate resilient financing to the rural sector. But after discussing with few of them, we found that they are also equally interested to do that, or also take their share to contribute to their NDCs and NAPs. So there is the meat of that climate resilient finance is only for the commercial bank or for the development banks need to be broken. And we thought that this is one of the major thought of us to organize this workshop, that how much they are interested, and we would like to listen from you that how you are going to support the NDCs of your country, and how your member institutions in your country can support the national adaptation plan of your country, so that that we can achieve the SDG 2030. I think I stop here, and no, I wish that I'll be throughout this session. So I wish this webinar is very much successful, and we can get some of the important issues and challenges what we may face in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Das. So yes, you're very right that in this segment, in this discussion, we would like to understand their contribution for their national agenda and our 2030 target. But we also want to know from them how we can build up the convergence of activities. So now I'd be looking forward to Mr. Gigi Mamens, ED and CEO of Southern, for his introductory note. Over to you, Mr. Mamens.
Thank you, Dr. Saibal, and good morning and good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to this first event of Nominar. It's a conference done on climate resilient microfinance financing. So as Dr. Saibal said, as Dr. Prasoon said, we have joined together with Africa to create a platform. You know, Africa itself is a large organization, more than 50 years old now, and it has been working as one of the major developmental institutions in the entire Asia and Pacific region. So we thought that instead of creating a separate organization itself, we'll make it as a platform on Africa, because basically we are aiming to have members from the Asia and Pacific region. So that's how the Nominar was created, as a network of microfinance networks in the Asia and Pacific region. And as Saibal said, we had a couple of meetings virtually. We had a physical meeting, and this is the first event we are organizing on behalf of Nominar, and of course the support of Africa. And I thank Dr. Prasoon for all his support and for creating this platform and bringing people together, and also giving this opportunity to be part of this first event. Let me tell you, see, as Saibal said, Asia Pacific region has a lot of commonalities. Our issues are similar. I would say the kind of the things which we have a lot of commonality in this. So we thought that it will be a good forum to bring all the microfinance networks together, so that we can work together. We can share between the networks about each country's experience, its knowledge, and also understand from each other the problems and issues, and take some kind of a common stand, kind of a common approach in solving some of the problems, because the problems, I said, it's almost similar in different countries. And when you talk about the problems, see, of course, poverty is an issue which we have been looking at, and one of the ways of mitigating the poverty is to create a livelihood and create economic empowerment. And microfinance sector plays a major role in that, because we have been targeting the poorest of the poor, the bottom of the pyramid, and have been supporting this microfinance creation of the livelihood. In fact, we did a study in India, in Women's Notas, one of the resource institutions called NCEAR. They did a study, and it came out with a conclusion that microfinance sector contribute almost 2.2% of gross value added in the economy. That's the kind of the contribution the microfinance is having. Apart from that, it also contributes to the employment generation, to the economic empowerment. So it's a great contribution to the economy, I would say, to the development of the people. So microfinance is playing a role, and we need to take it forward so that it helps more and more people. Apart from the microfinance, when you see the bottom of the pyramid, they are also affected by various other kind of issues. One of the issues which we are talking about today is about the climate related issues. And we know that the bottom of the pyramid, the poorest of the poor, are the most vulnerable to the climate changes and climate related issues. In fact, just now I was just reading a news item that Papua New Guinea had a huge landslide problem, and I think more than 500, 600 people lost their lives. This has been happening now, it's quite regularly. In India, we have been seeing so many such events which are happening, whether sudden flooding is happening, sudden landslides are happening. These are all part of the climate change which is happening across the world, and it's seen, we can see it in front of us. And when it happens, the most vulnerable ones, the most ones who have been affected are the poorer ones. And they are the ones whom the microfinance sector is also targeting on or supporting. So we thought that microfinance alone is not sufficient. By providing credit alone is not sufficient to help the poor people. We have to have a comprehensive approach. That's why in Sadhan itself, we changed our mandate last year to bring it more inclusive in nature. And we are from a association of community development finance institutions, we changed it to an association of impact finance institutions. So whatever we can bring to create impact at the bottom of the pyramid, we will be welcoming all of them under the umbrella of Sadhan. And that's how we have been going ahead. So as part of that, climate is one of the major areas we are working on. We are working on the affordable housing. We are working on enterprise development. We are working on the water and sanitation. Of course, we have a champion for that. This Suparna Tandon is with us. She is CGM of NABARD. It's a Apex Development Bank in India. And she has been working, she has contributed a lot for the water and sanitation when she was heading one of the subsidiaries of NABARD called NAB Samarthi. And of course, her experience will be a lot of use to us in this climate related issues also. And for your information, today is their first day in the office as the head of the climate vertical in NABARD. I welcome Sumata to this vertical and hope her contribution to this sector would really give an impetus to whole movement.
Thank you.
And so what I was trying to say is that the poorer section has not only needs credit, it needs a lot of other support. So we have been working around that. That is how the Sadhan's mandate itself has been now built on. So now today's work, when you say today's event, we are basically trying to understand from different countries, especially the countries which are of similar in nature, having similar issues. How do we tackle this problem? It's a problem which we are seeing it in front of us. It is happening just in front of us. We can see on a day-to-day basis, we can see how the climate has been changing. Today, we are sitting in Delhi where the temperature is 47 degrees. So we are seeing the sunny days more. We are seeing intense heat more. We are seeing lesser rainy days, but intense rainfalls. And because of this intense rainfalls, you find that there is sudden flooding happening. There is a lot of problems. So we can only help this by mitigating to the best possible, and for which I would, we are looking for how do we transform the microfinance into a green microfinance? How do we transform microfinance into a climate resilient microfinance? So of course, there are a lot of support system available in and around us. Of course, ADB, we have Anshu and with us. He will give us some kind of inputs, his thoughts on that. There are a lot of avenues, lot of areas of support available across the world. Green financing has been growing on a on a cumulative annual growth of around 11% in the last few years. In fact, I was just seeing one of the reports where the total the sustainable investment market has reached something like 35 trillion in 2020, and it's expected to grow by 15% and on year-on-year basis. So there's a huge market on green financing. So how do we tap that? And how do you make use of it for the good of the poor people? How do you make use of for the good of the nature, good of the environment itself, and make it a more sustainable development possible? So these are some of the things that probably we can discuss today. And there is some kind of action plan we are also suggested. We will be discussing it further after we hear from everyone. Probably we can have some common approach to address this, some kind of capacity building, some kind of conducting research and studies, some kind of having a sharing of knowledge, and having some kind of a task force working around this. So we can look at all these options. So first, we would like to hear from each one of you. I'm thankful to each one of you for sparing your time. As I said, it's a small group of people we have brought together, basically as a round table. It's more of a brainstorming in nature. We want to hear from everyone. How do we tackle this issue? What are the possibilities available? What are the present status of your country or your area? And how we go forward? And as part of Nominar, what steps we can take? As part of a platform on Africa, what steps we can take? So we'd like to hear from each one of you. I thank each one of you once again and welcome each one of you for today's this brainstorming session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sabal and team, for organizing this in such a meticulous way in a short way. Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you very much, Mr. Norman. It is wonderful to get you all on a platform to discuss on this what Mr. Norman and Dr. Das were discussing. So, so if we see in this Asia Pacific region, it is one of the worst affected region because there is also our contribution in it. If you see the statistics, it is telling that 80% of the fuel consumption is the fossil fuel in these areas in your Asia Pacific region. So it is not only that one, it really didn't start now. In 70s also we have seen that it is the third biodegradation after Latin America and your Africa. So it has started. It has a history of this thing. And then in 2022, we have seen that there are a lot of climate-related migrations, which is like around 32.6 million across globe, and 70% is from Asia Pacific region, internal migration. Then there is this for this extreme weather-linked death. There's 7,500 deaths in this area. So it's not really a small thing. And all of us, we know that if we are not taking care of it, in couple of years, couple of countries will be washed out because of this your global warming and this thing. So thank you all for coming and participating in it. As your as the method, what we can do, we can have a round of introduction of ourselves. Just your name, your designation, and your institution's name, country and institution's name will be good for us. So my name is Shoival. I work with Sadhan. I look after your this industry development side.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm Gigi Maman. I'm CEO of Sadhan. We have a.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ritu Patel. I'm also in Sadhan.
Sangeeta.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Sangeeta and I work with this leadership development of Sadhan.
There is a request, logistical request that if you are not speaking, please keep yourself mute. Okay. Yeah. Please carry on.
Mute.
Hi, my name is Kini. I'm from Cambodia Microfinance Association, CMA. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Imran Ahmed. I'm Deputy Executive Director at Shakti Foundation for Disadvantaged Women in Bangladesh. Thank you.
Imran Ahmed. Yeah, Rajiv ji.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Rajiv Kumar. I'm the General Manager with the Green Climate Finance Vertical at SIDBI.
Welcome.
Hello,
Suparna.
Namaskar. This is Dr. Agate Tripathi. I work as an advisor on ESG and sustainability with Agents for Impact, Germany.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Suparna Tandon. I have just today taken over as CGM of the Department of Climate Action and Sustainability. This is my colleague, Mr. Sanjay Ghosh.
Good morning.
He's General Manager.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
I'm Sanjay here, part of the Department of Climate Action and Sustainability. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Oma from the Myanmar Microfinance Association. Also, I'm working at the Myanmar Finance International Limited as a Deputy Managing Director. Nice to meet you all. Thanks.
Welcome. Can we hear from others? Tangoy?
Hello. Hi, namaste and very good morning. My name is Kapil Gautam. I'm representing Nepal Bankers Association. It's good to see all of you. Thank you very much.
Kapil Gautam.
Kapil.
From Nepal.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome, Kapil.
Hi, I'm Prasoon Kumar Das. I'm the Secretary General of Apraka. I can see Guna Nidhi. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks, everyone. This is Gunanidhi Das, CEO of Women's Microbank, branded as Mama Bank, based in PNG, Papua New Guinea. Just recently, the CEO for Southern was talking about the landslide of Papua New Guinea. So that is where I am actually based in. And it was unfortunate. It is not 500, it is more than 1,500 actually. So it's terrible actually, and I'm really shocked with the way the climate is changing and the devastation is happening. Yeah, I may be sharing something during the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. I'm very sorry about the.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tongay.
Hi again. My name is Tony. I'm from the Cambodia Microfinance Association. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Can we hear from others also? Arpita, ma'am?
Yeah, great initiative, Gigi and Saibal. I think learnings from cross-country learnings will be great. This initiative, as the gentleman from PNG has said. I am Arpita Pal Agarwal, a board member at Sadhan and an impact investor in the Indian microfinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else is Anshukant?
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Anshukant from ADB. I work with ADB's microfinance program, and thank you for the opportunity to listen to all of you and learn in the process.
Thank you and welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody
else? Yeah, please, if anybody is. What's other names? Yeah, please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I am Dama Vijayavardhana, representing Bank of Ceylon, Sri Lanka.
Welcome, sir. Then, can we hear from the others also? Another few more are there.
So, Vietnam Bank for social policy. So anybody from Vietnam?
The first name, what is the first name? Anon. The first name. Anon.
We have one representative from our member APB, Laos.
Yes.
Laos.
My name is Vinatak. I'm a business development consultant from Agricultural Promotion Bank of Lapidas. And also, I would like to introduce my friends, my colleagues, Mr. Anumat, also joy. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome.
So, so we are yet to get this representative from University of Oxford and Apollo Hospital. Nonetheless, let us start. So we were discussing Apollo Hospital. I mean, Karan was there. Is Karan there?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Karan. If you can introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this invitation. I'm Dr. Karan Thakur. I take care of sustainability initiatives at the Apollo Hospitals Group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
And Anshul is, I think Anshul is not here. Anyway, so let us start. So let us start rolling. This is not something that somebody will tell, somebody will ask, something like this. This is a brainstorming session. So in this brainstorming session, we would like to understand how to develop basically your ingredients of climate change modeling in microfinance. We are trying to pull the strings together that we have so much of knowledge, we have worked so much. So how can we build up a kind of, a model for climate change? Although there are, but I don't think there is anything specific for the microfinance segment. As we deal with the micro segment, it has a different character. Although we are doing a kind of banking, but it is not pure banking. It is much more social finance than your business finance. So what would be the ingredient while taking it forward, this discussion forward, maybe we can discuss about this country status, that where are we standing in country. Then we can also try to understand that what kind of activities you are undertaking. Then third, maybe that what kind of these challenges are there. Then way forward, what Dr. Das was talking about, that country-specific agenda, what kind of thing you want to do, and what Mr. Mohammed was also talking about, that in the Asia-Pacific region, what kind of way forward we can do, we can contribute. So these are like a very loose contour of the discussion, but one thing we need to be very careful of, it's the time. So it may be 5, 7 minutes, 10 minutes for one country. If there are many speakers, more than one speaker. Otherwise, it is within 5 minutes if you can tell us. So first, we'd like to understand from ADB, from Anshukant Taneja. He is Principal Investment Specialist at Private Sector Operations in this ADB. Would like to understand the contour of your Asia region, what he seeing, that what are the challenges, what could be the way forward. And as we were discussing about this, your network of networks, what kind of things we can work on. So Anshukant, over to you.
Thank you very much for that and the kind introduction, and thank you for this opportunity. Maybe I'll just speak very specifically in the context of the common topic of interest to all of us, which is microfinance. Just to sort of take a few steps back, climate financing, which is now being seen as a subset of green financing, is a pretty complicated topic. It is complicated from the point of view of taxonomy, because all kinds of projects, all kinds of initiatives are vying to become climate finance. Some of them do qualify, some of them don't qualify. And secondly, it has a very high requirement of traceability. So the standards of climate financing which are getting rolled out are requiring very intensive traceability, and not just a general guidance or a general intent that this is for the social good of the vulnerable, is sort of adequately qualifying the outputs as climate finance. So these two are aspects of climate financing which are very different from what we have traditionally seen in the ESG framework. I think all of us are quite familiar with the ESG framework and also the ensuing problem which came in, often labeled as greenwashing in some instances, but climate financing is taking a lot more scientific approach to it. Amongst this whole sort of maze and complexity, I think at ADB, we have taken a kind of a more simplified approach, one being that which communities and which livelihoods are most vulnerable to climate change. And in Asia and Pacific, it is clearly the rural communities, and it is clearly livelihoods which are directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture. Both these are, incidentally, also, if you look at any microfinance institution, these are almost 70 to 80% of the clients that they serve. So from a community perspective and from an institutional outreach perspective, we feel that MFIs are really in a very special place where they can act in a timely way to mitigate and adapt to the changes of climate which are coming ahead. Going back again a bit, please, on the context of climate financing, we really feel that the mitigation aspect of it, which is addressed at the perpetrators, which is probably the energy sector or the transport sector, are probably less relevant for us. The roles that MFIs can play very exclusively and very significantly is going to be on the adaptation side, which is to say that climate change is upon us. There is no denying that, and the pace of change is only increasing. I think like Mr. G.D. Menon also mentioned, there's a wide vagaries of climate calamities now. And MFIs can help the rural communities and their clients increase their adaptability to the change. And the adaptability will come both from financing, both from usage of tools of climate mitigation, for example, insurance products, which have a very vast application in this area. And lastly, also in the post-calamity recovery process. One of the big gaps that MFIs are now sort of focusing more on is that it's not just a climate event which is going to be there upon us, but what is happening in the subsequent, period of time once a flood or a drought or a cyclone is hit. And that is the time where they can step up the activity and their contribution to the community can be of immense value. So that's how we have sort of tried to make sense of this pretty vast maze of climate finance and maybe carve out a special place for microfinance and MFIs in it. I'll just pause over here and maybe I'm sure there'll be other thoughts coming in and we can take up questions ahead. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we go to Nepal? We have Mr. Kapil Gautam from Nepal Bankers Association. The same set of question is also for you, that this country status, what kind of activities you are undertaking, what kind of challenges are there, special activities in your country somebody is taking up, then also way forward, country as well as this at national network level, larger network level. So, Mr. Gautam.
Hello, good morning, everyone. At first, I would like to thank to the organizer for this great initiatives. So basically, I'm new to the association, so I don't have much more information about the questions that you have raised. But as a bankers association, what we have been doing in terms of environmental and social governance within our industry is that what we have realized is one of the major challenges that the VFIs that in Nepal we have been facing is the capacity building part, right? Since the ESG guidelines has been in implementation just back in 2022. So we are new in these initiatives, but it is very obvious that Nepal, as a mountainous country, is going to be much more affected by this climate risk. So we all have to work together, and as an association, we have been working to build the capacity of the banking industries. For that, we have conducted few programs like certified courses on ESG in a partnership with the Barcelona School of Management. So there are so many things needs to be done. So to being honest with you, I'm not in that position to give you the details about this thing that, but we have been working in these areas and we have taken this very seriously. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we could understand from Anshukan on this scientific approach, yes, it is very much then your adaptation process. We will take it forward. And yes, Mr. Gautam, capacity building is one of the areas we also understand that there is a need and there is, we need to build up and we have capacities. It is not that we don't have, we need to exchange that one. We need to learn from each other. Can I request Mr. Gunanidhi Das, CEO of Women's Micro Bank, because we were discussing about this landslides and other things. if we can get Mr. Das, will be good to hear from him. What's the situation? What kind of activities? First of all, about this incident, and second, of course, about the country, about the segment of microfinance, and what kind of contribution can we do for country as well as network of networks. Now, over to you, Mr. Das.
Thank you very much, and thanks all listener here. Now, first of all, I'm sorry. Actually, we lost almost 1,500 lives just 2 days before, and that is basically the way of the climate is changing now, and continuous raining throughout the Pacific is actually leading to the flood, cyclone, even if landslides, earthquake, everything is there in Pacific region, because all of we know that Pacific region is under the tectonic plate, ring of fire. So everything is happening here. But when we talk about resource, everything is also here. So it's kind of like positive, negative, but most importantly, the thing when we talk about microfinance, I think we got our independence in 1975, and India got 47. So that is the difference actually we have with PNG. that number of years of lagging behind. We when we talk about microfinance, we don't have any proper microfinancing way of doing banking microfinance in the country. And more importantly, when we look at, it's almost 12 million people in PNG, and largest in the Pacific out of 14 countries. But importantly, it is 85% population are unbanked, and forget about the microfinance. It's not even having the bank account, and they are not access to banking services. When I say access to banking services, they cannot also come down to a nearest branch to open their account. They are so remote. So the way actually what Women's Microbank or Mama Bank is trying to approach is three things we are doing here. The first thing is actually capacity building of those women and their families, where financial literacy is the main component we have taken up. And at the same time, we are looking at the ways and means how we can go out to those places, to reach out to those places so that access to banking services can be available. And then third one is that with the help of technology, how we can bring the access to finance. That is called, means what we are talking about, the microfinance. So we have taken up the approach of mixed Grameen model as well as group mechanism. That's where actually we are trying to reach out to the people here in PNG. But importantly, the microfinance is in initial stage because of there are not microfinance institution. We are only 4 out of that. One already been got the commercial license, so they are going to commercial way, and other one is just provincial based. So we are only 2, and that's where actually the government focus is not much into giving out banking services in the rural area just before 2-3 years. But now with the central bank and the government of PNG, we have approach to how we can go out and serve the people in the rural area at in their place is the way forward through the technology. And importantly, when I'm talking, actually I'm in Fiji, and I'm with a conference through AFD and GGGI, Global Green Growth Institute. That's where actually we are talking here regarding the greening the Pacific financial system, and that's where microfinance is coming up, and how we can actually help the 14 countries. And most of the countries actually finding difficulties with the small islands. They are sinking inside of Pacific Ocean because of global warming and the climate change. So the issue is actually from our side is because of security reason, because of the tough terrain, because of the way of doing business, and in particularly in Papua New Guinea, people look at the kina, the currency, as a spending item, or they don't look at keeping that money in their pocket or in their bank account. Rather than when they get their money, they just go and spend that money. So creating the savings culture and creating the credit culture is the important way we are looking at, to try to bring the people into the banking system, and then after creating the credit culture among themselves, so that giving small loan to them to bring the real microfinancing. I'll add one thing and before conclude. In Pacific Island, the most important thing is actually all the women are the real entrepreneur. And that's where actually I believe with my microfinance background, I believe that when women are the entrepreneur, microfinance can really work in a better way or the best way. And that's where actually we are trying to bring the real microfinance in the country, with the help of UNCDF, UN agencies, AFD, ADB, and IFC. All those people are really focused now into the sector. And yes, Prasunda is there. He is a great supporter of PNG too, through central bank and all those things. And now I think because of their influence, central bank also looked at microfinancing in a separate way. Previously, we were also treated as like commercial bank, but now they started thinking like, oh, okay, microfinance is something different, which is not the commercial banks do, or our cup of tea is something different. So I'll stop here. But the important thing I want to just message out to everyone is there are a lot of things we can do in Pacific region. And I think when we talk about Sadhan's job, what they do normally in India is actually that's what we are missing here in Pacific. I think that can be connected somehow. I don't know. Thank you.
Sure.
No,
Thank you.
You know it well. Well, can we do it? Thank you very much. There are three things you were talking about. One is your access. Second one is was technology. Third one is your creating the savings and credit culture. Yes, I mean we can learn from each other. We do have the models. You know that one because you are basics, so you understand that what exactly the models and everything. So we can definitely work together. One of the things I could understand from this deliberation that there is also a need to pull together the policy makers. If we can do that one, it would be very helpful for our segment and build up a convergence between the work, between the people, between the initiatives. If we can do that one, thank you, Mr. Das. So now I need to bring Ms. Suparna Tandon, CGM Department of Climate Action and Sustainability, because she has a meeting around 12. So Suparna, over to you. Being a development finance institution and being your personal contribution to your your green financing and other climate resilient thing, what's your observation? How are we doing? How are we faring? And what are the gaps? What can we do? Suparna, I would like to understand from you, how can we build up Nomner as well? Because we work together, we know that when your contribution for this segment, your water and sanitation segment, has been a pioneer work. So over to you, Suparna.
Thank you so much, Shrival. Sorry, first of all, apologies to everyone for having to jump the queue, but I was called for another meeting just now. So, respected Dr. Das, Gigi sir, he's been my mentor and guide for decades. Mr. Taneja, all my respected colleagues from various countries and network institutions. The first of all, I'm very new to the department, so I will try to speak from the heart and from what comes to me instinctively. So when we say the role of the impact of climate on smallholder farmers and rural MSMEs and what MFIs can do,
So the first thing that comes to mind is a study I did in NABARD in 2015 to understand the role of microfinance as a coping mechanism in disaster-prone areas. And the study was 1 week in Barmer, which is a desert in Rajasthan, and then 1 week in Vishakhapatnam, which is prone to cyclones every year, and then another 1 week in Jammu Kashmir, which saw earthquake and a lot of landslides. So what emerged from that study is that microfinance alone was not enabled to help the rural communities come out of the effects of disaster. I mean, that was a very telling this thing. That paper was presented in an international conference. And what we discovered is that there were other social security measures, including something like the Manrega, which is an assured, wage kind of scheme. So Manrega and other schemes together and other sources of livelihood were able to, enable the communities to come out of to cope with the disaster. So the first lesson that I want to bring to the table is that microfinance needs to be bundled with other pension products, say insurance products. And when we say insurance, there is a host of insurance for these smallholders. It's not just, it's including the insurance for animals, because they are the most impacted by acute water crisis. So asset insurance. So these kind of, schemes need to be bundled together. That's the first. The second experience, again, which I'm dealing with, which I want to place before you, is what I did as MD in Samriddhi during the year of COVID. Although COVID cannot be a climate-related disaster, but the impact on the MFIs was very similar. Because, MFIs and the communities that they deal with, the communities, basically, they have smaller access to both physical as well as financial assets. So the share of physical and financial assets is very low. And the ability in times of disaster to convert a financial asset into a physical asset and vice versa in terms of the bargaining power is rather limited. Second thing is the volatility of cash flows. So what we did in Samriddhi is first we looked at, a kind of how do we support these smaller MFIs to reach out to the communities who are impacted by COVID? And then in West Bengal, there was a cyclone. So there was a double impact. So we came up with a pooled loan insurance scheme where we took a set of small MFIs. Mr. Taneja knows about it because we worked with ADB also on this. Finally, the product was we bring 8 or 10 MFIs together. And there is another corporate which provides a FLDG or an SLDG. And then the loan is sort of, given to the MFIs and then to the small borrowers. So what I'm trying to say is we need to look beyond the obvious loan products. We need to structure loan products. We need to look beyond the ordinary if we want to help the MFIs. I mean, the role of NABARD is to, or other financial institutions, is to look at structuring products which will take care of, the volatilities or will take care of the issues of communities who are repeatedly affected by climate change. So that was one thing that we did, and it was a pretty good, successful product. The second product which GG sir was talking about was the WASH product, which we rolled out. Again, that was a COVID year. So we again started with the smallest of MFIs, and I'm happy we collaborated with Sadhan and with Shoibal to identify the entities which could be funded under the WASH program. A lot of it was access to drinking water and then sanitation and hygiene. So now today I'm happy to say that 227 crore, almost 14% of Samriddhi's total loan outstanding is to this segment. And not only that, they have signed an MOU with the Blended Finance Private Limited, TBFC, to leverage catalytic capital for supporting climate-focused WASH activities. So these are some of the initiatives that we need to take, or we should take. So the expectation from MFIs basically is twofold. Because they are the institutions, which are closest to the rural communities. So therefore, they are the best institutions which can be leveraged to look at climate adaptation debt finance. So, but MFIs themselves need to look at both financial as well as non-financial services. So when it comes to the financial services, we need to look at tailored, expanded and additional financial products. Number two, MFIs need to introduce loans with longer tenors. Now, I'm very careful saying this with a lot of care. Why I'm saying this is that if you give only shorter tenor loans, the return on investment from one cropping season or two cropping season will not enable the communities to build assets. For instance, if let's say a solar powered irrigation project. So, or maybe sowing and harvesting equipment or post-harvest storage. You need communities to build assets, which will help them in terms of stress. So therefore, can MFIs look at longer tenor products? Can they look at bundling of loan and insurance products? Can they look at redesigning the various aspects? I mean, Dr. Das is smiling, but can they look at redesigning the various aspects like having a flexible disbursement schedule and flexible, interest charges and all that? And then there are the non-financial services. Already we've seen during COVID, whether it was, having camps, vaccination camps, whether it was having training in terms of what should be the guidelines. So similar kind of training and credit plus services are what we look at MFIs to deliver. And also when it comes to the building some kind of coping mechanism by enabling or training the communities to build data on weather forecast. I remember a conversation I had with GIZ way back in the 2000s, which says that they were doing a pilot in India. GIZ was doing a pilot in India where they would help rural communities to build a kind of database regarding the adverse climate events, because the entire traditional wisdom of rural communities is now challenged because of the extreme climate events. So how do we train and build the knowledge systems, and how do we build the skills needed to deal with erratic climate change? So that is the expectation from MFIs. But when it comes to institutions like us, it's not enough to say that MFIs need to do this. It's what institutions like NABARD need to do. DFIs like us should be willing to provide patient capital, be willing to provide perhaps blended finance products, be willing to provide not just loan, but loan and grant products. Be willing to help the MFIs build the kind of MIS that is required to satisfy the investors, because the needs of the investors in providing or building the MIS for green funding, that's substantial. So how do we enable the MFIs to build those kind of MIS to take care of the requirements of the investors? How do we support them with credit backstop measures? What kind of guarantee products that we can do? I just gave the example of NAB Samriddhi. So we need to understand that MFIs are in an advantageous position. So institutions like NABARD and other like-minded institutions, that MFIs are the front runners. So they can provide the services best. And how do we support them? By providing specialized, tailored finance products and particularly patient capital. How do we provide patient capital to MFIs to help them come up to the requirements? So I think I'll stop here.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I will try to join again. Thank you very much for the opportunity. This was my first day. I hope I was able to share whatever little I know. Thank you.
Yes, of course, yes, you have really contributed. Mr. Ghosh will be here, right? Or he will also be.
Yeah, Ghosh would come in.
No, yes, he's going to be here. He's going to be here.
Okay.
He can add his.
Perfectly fine. So, Suparna, yes, structured product is very, very much necessary. We are from Southern who's also contemplating for that one. And you talked about data, then your like financial product, then capacity buildings, and also including social security benefit. Yes, it's very, very much necessary. And I could understand that where these development finance institutions like NABARD can contribute. Thank you for enlightening us. Thank you very much. So, after Suparna, can we go to Bangladesh? So, from Bangladesh, we do have PKSA. We do have from Shakti Foundation, we do have, hello, and we do have from Assam. So if you can briefly tell us, starting with PKSF, because it's one of those unique institutions which supports microfinance sector, whole sector.
Can you please switch off the mics? Those who are not speaking, please switch off the mics.
So can you please mute everyone?
Can you mute it and
mute everyone?
And those who are speaking, please unmute and
unmute and speak. So so from PKSF?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, today our additional MD, Mr. Fazlul Kader sir will be attend, I think, but he is now absence of this meeting. In the PKSF, I am Mr. K. Marfuzjaman, work as a manager of Environment and Climate Change Unit of PKSF. Actually, PKSF, you know, PKSF is the apex organization of the microfinance in Bangladesh. PKSF lead the microfinance of Bangladesh about 200 MFIs in their field. Actually, PKSF implemented basic microcredit and also the project, about 17 projects now in Bangladesh, like World Bank, ADB, IFAD, Green Climate Fund, and a lot of organization in there. So I think in the basically PKSF did work previously and now transformed to micro enterprise, because in the traditional microcredit it's okay in previously, but now if it is not transformation the enterprise, it not be lasting long. At the same time, that is the in another problem is their disaster and climate change issues. Already we facing a lot of problem due to climate change and disaster issues. Today, you know, in Bangladesh and India is now the Remal. So in the coastal belt, in coastal belt, you know, most a lot of micro enterprises there, and PKSF actually did the do the work with the partner organization, but that is why they faces a lot of problem to there. In that connection, what PKSF did there? Actually, after the disaster, PKSF take another option is there, because they can continue their business as well. So through our partner, PKSF has a PKSF have a, another fund to recover this micro enterprise for running smoothly. At the same time, I think PKSF implemented both grant and microfinance blending project, like previously implemented 3 projects in Green Climate Fund. Actually, they are supported both grant and credit is there. Some livelihood options also is there, and you know, last GCF board 2 project, ECCP drought and RSL project in coastal area. Their major intervention is crab fattening, because most of the areas, you know, this Rimal and previously ILA and a lot of digital is there. Most of the organizations and ME are destroyed their livelihood options. So this is why that's enterprise will also help them for their sustainability in future. I think PKSF also previously NABARD, Suparna says insurance is animal. I think PKSF also piloting in animal insurance with the help of JICA. That is the good instant is there, and you know, PKSF also a pilot also implemented a project WASH product. Actually, in climate change issues, WASH is the very important because that's WASH project is purely micro finance supported. PKSF give them loan and established their WASH facilities in the field level through our partner organization. And also, I think just I also mentioned Suparna's flexible terms and conditions. Actually, flexible terms and conditions for loan microcredit is very difficult. Sometimes it's very difficult because when you get 1 year or 1 year, then more 3 years, 4 years, that is the that type of loans is very difficult to repay for them. For this reason, PKSF thinking that the flexible terms and condition through gradually and it is started already PKSF. So I think in Bangladesh it's very now the microcredit is very challenging because sometimes our micro credit partner, they faces the problem of funding because in previously they need only few money for their client, but now they need more so that this is the very challenge. I think if it is continue and our client will be continue their business as well as their field level beneficiaries level product. We think now PKSF is thinking for the digital financing because microcredit cost operating cost is very high. If we continue the digital financing, the cost may be minimized. For this reason, PKSF is thinking the digital financing. I think
Mr.
a lot.
Mr. Just a minute. I just want to stop you here because we'll be coming back to you. One of the areas you have talked about it's about your grant trust lending. We would be looking forward to hear from you. I'm getting actually goosebumps that we are sitting on so much of experiences. Somebody is asking for something. The answer is coming from somewhere. So we have so much to learn and we need to document it. Just before you, Suparna was talking about this blended finance, then your grant plus lending. Now you are telling that you do have products. So we could learn from each other. That's one of the major objectives behind creation of this phenomenon. Thank you very much. I'll be coming back to you. Thank you very much. So from Bangladesh, we do have representative from Shakti Foundation. If Suhani is there or anybody else, Imran Ahmed.
Yes, thank you.
So,
This is Imran Ahmed from Shakti Foundation. I'm the Deputy Executive Director here. Very briefly, Shakti Foundation, as you know, in Bangladesh, the MFIs are non-profits over here. So Shakti Foundation is one of the national microfinance institutions. We focus on 4 areas. Microfinance, we have a portfolio of roughly $300 million, serving about 500,000 women all over Bangladesh. Then we focus a lot on the health piece of it. Climate change is another pillar, and then women empowerment that we've been working on for the last 32 years, right? So for the team, and this is fantastic to have colleagues from all over the global south, climate change and health related climate change related to health and microfinance, increasingly for us is getting interlinked, right? You just can't, particularly for women and children, it's not one, so it becomes a very complex problem. So from my end, I wear 2 hats. One is I'm the Deputy Executive Director of Shakti Foundation running these programs, but I'm also the advisor of the Honorable Mayor of Dhaka, which is the largest city and the capital of Bangladesh that contributes 40% of GDP to Bangladesh on climate change issues, right? So I see the local perspective as well as the national perspective in Bangladesh. Again, it's a complex problem that I'm trying to highlight over here. So as you know, Bangladesh is one of the most climate vulnerable countries on this planet. And we have different issues on different sides. So it's not one size fits all, right? Our coastal area problems are very different from the problems bordering, Nepal up north over there, versus the climate migration internally that we face from rural to urban areas, right? So very different problems depending on which side or which region you're looking at. So just to give you an example, if we have a cyclone that just got hit last night, right? And it has a massive impact on displacement. Already a big flow of temporary workers are shifting to Dhaka today. And it's going to last for the next 15, 20 days because a lot of their fields have gone underwater. This is a real-time example I'm giving you. So what happens is Dhaka, which generates a lot of this low-income daily jobs, will have to respond, okay? But the challenge is when these migrants will move, particularly it's mainly male population that leave their families behind, they will have to stay in places that are underdeveloped. We can't provide basic housing, basic primary urban healthcare. We have water issues. And just today it's raining. For the next 6 days, it's going to be excessive raining. Then we are going to face extreme heat, right? And then the families they're leaving behind, they are having to face safety and security issues because the current income generating activity they were doing probably got totally trashed for the next 3 months, and they will have to find new ways of generating income, right? And not only that, we have additional problems of insecurity and safety issues for women and children primarily, because climate change, as we all know, is very unfair to the vulnerable population and unkind, who are now having to figure out how to stay safe without the male person in their community, in their homes, right? So very specific things that from our end, because we are the first line of defense in Shakti, we are having to deal with. So the point over here is it's not one size fits all. Different communities are facing different types of, different segments are facing different types of problems. So from microfinance point of view, we are constantly thinking of products and services that caters to these needs, right? Because that's the reality in the ground. Now, the challenge we face is whatever discussion we are having at the microfinance level with the government, with other institutions, is really around adaptation, right? So for example, we are working, so in women in Bangladesh, mobility for children, mobility is a big issue. Now think about urban low-cost housing is tin shed, and in extreme heat, let's say it's 48 degrees outside, it becomes 45 degrees inside the household. If there is a chimney cooker, it becomes 47 degrees in the house. So 5 degrees different. Think about the health consequences associated with that we have seen. Now we are doing adaptation pieces of it, like can we intervene and make climate change friendly housing? But the challenge what we are facing is, someone already mentioned, Bangladesh just had last year the highest heat temperature, the highest rainfall, the coldest 2 months in last year alone. And this year it's expected to be worse. Now the challenge with that is, because of climate change pattern shift, because now it's rainy season all throughout, we have dengue all throughout. our agriculture shifts are happening. The north is having bumper crops, whereas the south is getting decimated, right? So climate change, rain is good in one area, but not so good in the other area, right? The challenge is the response has to be quick, because climate impact related to climate change is extremely unpredictable and very sudden. What we face, particularly with these discussions, is it's taking time. It's taking a long, long time to respond. And oftentimes we are missing the boat, particularly around funding and with the implementation piece of it. But by the time a decision is being made, the weather pattern is changing again. So this, I feel like as a group for us, is something to think about, because we have to start figuring out how to be more nimble, more responsive to the climate change we have. One. Second piece of it is around the mitigation piece of it. One of the reasons we are so excited to be part of this network is the global south really has to raise their voices, particularly around the common issues we face. Again, around the vulnerable population, right? Mostly all of us over here are supporting the lowest 20-25% of the population, mainly women and children. Now, we can do as much adaptation as we want. If we don't focus on the global developed countries taking more responsibility, particularly around funding, and providing funding quickly to the global south, particularly to the local communities, really I don't see much movement happening down the road, because all our governments have a limit. All our agencies have a limit of how much we can contribute to this change. Because if we think about the natural ways of getting returns, it's not going to be the same with climate finance, obviously, right? I mean, we have to be able to figure it out. The third piece of it that I want to focus on, I think the gentleman from ADB mentioned, particularly in Bangladesh, we have a lot to learn in terms of how to provide more safety net to this very vulnerable population. While, for example, India has adopted insurance really well, Bangladesh hasn't. Yes, our vulnerable populations are very dependent on still savings to provide the money. So previously it was like if there was a health issue, all their savings were getting depleted. Now we have climate change as a new menace. If there is an issue, their savings are getting depleted. Hence, we are seeing a vulnerable population of the lowest 20-25% who are increasingly becoming more vulnerable. I will pause over here. Happy to share many more examples as you need. We have an abundance of that, unfortunately.
So, Mr. Imran, thank you for your deliberation. I mean, see, once again, it's so interesting that we don't have to learn from anyone. Anshurant was talking about the recovery process, which is very important. Now, you are talking about already it is there, although many of microfinance might be having, you're talking about the revival of economy and your activities. Possibly, we can learn from you as well that how you are doing it. Like in India, in Assam, every year there is this flood. And then government, I mean, this microfinance institution, they know that during these 2 months, there won't be any repayment in these specific geographies. So they have developed their financial this modeling in such a way that they don't need at that time. And also, like, how are you working? How are you working in this revival of the economy? Would be very good to learn. Thank you very much. So if I can go to Mr. Hamidul Islam, very briefly from Assam. Very briefly. Are you there? You have to unmute yourself possibly.
Go to another country. Go to another country.
We can go. So we are yet to get him. If we can go to Cambodia, we will be coming back to Mr. Hamidul Islam, because we are not getting you at this point of time. If Mr. Wong, Head of Financial Inclusion and Social Impact, Cambodia Microfinance Association, can brief us about your endeavor, your challenges, way forward, special activities you have taken. So if we can hear from you. Mr. Wong.
Yes, thank you. My name is Kini, Wong Phat Kini from Cambodia. I'm representative of the Cambodia Microfinance Association. So getting back to the climate financing in Cambodia, especially on microfinance, I can say that it is quite new for CMA ourselves. while the bank, they have more experience than microfinance in terms of the climate finance or green finance in practices. So what has been facing by microfinance in Cambodia right now? I can say that one of the major things is about the awareness between both supply side and the demand side. When we try to understand, assess about the survey, the research among our members, try to understand about their awareness or policy or how is the implementation of the climate finance in their institution. Most of our microfinance members, they don't have any experience or they don't have awareness on those. Except few big MDI, yes, that they have more experience on that. However, most of the small and medium size, they don't have any experience or awareness on the green climate finance. Looking at the demand side, the client themselves, most of our clients, they are the people which engage more in agriculture, and the climate change have made a very negative impact to their livelihood. Yes, recently, have a lot of El Nino make their farm activity has been affected by those climate change. And we try to understand, some of our key partners, they try to promote, they try to increase the awareness on the importance of adaptation, especially, for example, like on the greenhouse to the farmer, so that they just want our farmer to do something like the vegetable cropping into a greenhouse. But they still see that it is not important for them because of they have the low awareness. However, our key partner, not only CMA, but our supply side, such as the BFI, we have the role to play in this regard. For example, like recently, we learned that the awareness is very important. That is why we try to engage with other partners in Cambodia in order to promote the green finance awareness in Cambodia first, and then we come up, try to engage or involve our members to design the product. Yes, it is important for our members to design the green finance product to sell to the people in the rural area. Previously, we learned from our members that they will not spend money in order to conduct a research, in order to design the product. But with the support from CMA, we work with our partners to develop something like a higher consultant in order to conduct a market study or to assess the behavior of the people in the rural area, and then giving them the opportunity to build a product and sell to the client. So this is what we have been done in order to promote, to help on to increase the portfolio of the green finance in Cambodia. More than that, another role is about the small microfinance, especially the rural credit operator in Cambodia. They generate or something they doing similar to the microfinance, and most of their target is the people living in a very remote area. Mostly they serve the unbanked people, they serve the unbanked rural people. They also want to engage more with the green finance. They want to get the support from the green investor, but they don't have enough capacity to track or to build a product. That is why we try to advocate, we try to work with our partner, especially the green funder, in order to mobilize something like, example, like maybe 10% or 20% of their total investment in the green finance in microfinance in Cambodia, and then use that fund to support or give that funding in very small amount to the small microfinance or the small rural credit operator, so that the small rural credit operator, they will be able to absorb some fund from those impact investment or investor. So we are now working on those, and we hope that we will get more support from our key partner. I think that's all from me to update. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. I mean, indeed, it is a problem for us also to raise this fund for this specific segment, for this green impact funders, for this green financing. It is why we are also organizing this event, that if we can bring up a joint voice for this geography, that we need this kind of fund, we need this kind of support. It would be helpful for all of us. It is not Cambodia, it is not Myanmar, it is not Bangladesh, it is not India, for every one of us. So thank you very much. Yes, awareness is one of the areas. I mean, we do, but we don't do it dedicatedly with proper awareness about the thing about this green financing. Absolutely, you are very much right. So if we can bring Mr. Chai from Cambodia. Mr. Chai, are you there? He is from Bank of Cambodia. He is from the supply side of the finance. Mr. Chai, are you there? Okay.
Bon Chaya, Mr. Chaya.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
It is not Bank of Cambodia, it is the National Bank of Cambodia, the central bank.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Sorry. Sorry. Mr. Chai.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but little bit of remote if you can be a little bit louder.
So in terms
Yes.
of as a role of regulator, so right now in Cambodia we are developing a sustainable finance roadmap and also sustainable finance taxonomy. So the two initiatives mainly focusing on so for sustainable finance roadmap, we expected it to be coming out as an from the regulator side for the private sector to act related to climate-related risk and also to tackle climate change and tailor to our the strategy of our government and the NDC itself as well. So another thing is that green finance or sustainable finance taxonomy, it will serve for the purpose of attracting investment. So we believe that where finance coming in, activity will follow through. So in this sense, sustainable finance taxonomy will act as a tool for investor to compare their investment, mark their investment to the taxonomy itself to mark it as whether it is green or not green, and also to avoid the problem of greenwashing, and also it will also serve as a investment pipeline in the future for investor to look through whichever area that is the priority of our government as well. So we hopefully, after these two tools coming out, it will also support to our initiative to promote sustainable finance and green finance through our regulatory remits as well. So in the regulatory side, we promote sustainable finance and green finance by providing lower risk rate compared to other normal assets. So for green label asset, we provide institution to risk rate this asset only 80% compared to other assets that ranging from 100 to 125 or 150%. So in this sense, financial institutions in Cambodia will benefit from lower capital requirement for the investment in green asset. Thank you. So in case my team would like to add anything else, please go ahead.
Good afternoon from the National Bank of Cambodia. I just would like to summarize, just wrap up a little bit from my colleagues. Like even if from the CMA, they are the operator, the key challenges is raising awareness, and we are the regulator, we recognize it as well. And in addition to my colleague that he has highlighted about our concerted effort, because we are the central bank, we take the role as the enabler, mean facilitator to make a smoothly mobilize so activity related to the green finance. And I just like to highlight about the role of the microfinance activity in our country. In our financial system. Actually, microfinance has been represented roughly around 5% only in our financial sector. However, we try to engage the microfinance activity into our greening project. For example, CMA, also a member of the Associate Banking of Cambodia, that has already produced the 9 principles linked to promote the green finance as well. And within our taxonomy, we are considering to select a prioritized sector. And now we're considering whether agriculture will be eligibility as our priority sector or not. Because in the microfinance, agriculture is represented the second rank after the household consumption loan. So we try to engage, embed the microfinance activity into our financial system. And for the NBC way forward, we keep work closely with other development partners, like mostly we work with IFC, with World Bank, with UNSCAP, with Africa. I know present through email, just a face-to-face today. And also we as a central bank, we do a lot of conduct a lot of study related to how to can we promote the green finance. And now we are working with the World Bank to identify the climate related risk. We want to identify and measure first how much the risk arisen from the climate associated to our financial sector. And after that, we will consider about the regulatory treatment, whether which way or what practice, regulation, or any guideline we further put more enforceable on that. So we as the regulator, we as a central banker, we work so hard with a lot of stakeholders and other all-line ministries like the Ministry of Environment, Ministry like the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Planning, and such so forth and on. Our ultimate goal is to promote the green finance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would be literally looking forward for these 2 documents. What your National Bank of Cambodia will be looking, will be coming up with, and the sustainable financial roadmap. Yeah, it would be very interesting. We can learn from that one also, that how your country is doing that one. Maybe a couple of areas we can also discuss later on. One of the, we need to bring this inside that, this, we talk about Southern, what's significantly in the policy level. We have seen in Uganda, they do have the best policy possibly across globe for the microfinance segment. So we can learn from each other. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm literally looking forward for these documents when it will be coming up. We'll be in touch. And once again, what we were discussing, that if we can pull together all the regulators of the country and we can have a discussion on the financial inclusion and maybe on green financing, climate resilient financing will be very good. This is a way forward for us. We can thank you, Mr. Chai and Ms. Samba. Now let us go to Myanmar. Our friend Omar is there. So we'll be looking forward to hear from you. It's good to see you once again. You are on mute.
Yeah. Good to see you all again. Yeah, thank you. Yes, actually, I have a very least experience on this subject, but I want to study and learn from you all kinds, because past previous discussions are very useful to me. How we need to develop in our country, or as you know, here we have banks and microfinance institutions. Some are supporting mainly to the agriculture and livestock, but according to the data, what we know, it's only the microfinance sector can support 34% of agriculture, but others are local banks and government banks. And as you know, Myanmar also suffer the effects of climate change, since a lot of tropical storms found in the Bay of Bengal, and also cyclone nuggets hit in 2006. So after this, the microfinance institutions are more developed in Myanmar. The government has the Myanmar climate change policy they established in 2019, but the master plan is it's go to 2018 to 2030. But as you may know, after the COVID, there is COVID in 2019, and also we have some political situations, conflict in 2021. So what we notice is that the plan and master plan in this policy has not implemented yet. So some local banks we know also they mainly support to the agriculture, and also in Myanmar there is a lack of electricity. So the requirements on the off-grid solar system. This is what I know. It's currently IFC. It's planning to launch the first phase of Lighting Myanmar program to develop an off-grid solar market in the Myanmar. So in this, what I know, it's demand of solar markets also increasing, but we still need some of the banks and financial institution. They also make the specific products to lend, especially for the own solar system. Not only the business, or also the family, the house use. But the thing, like I mentioned, although we have a policy and master plan, but due to the situation, the green finance mechanism to promote sustainable consumption productivity and main target to SME has not implemented yet. So the thing, what we found is, although the government promotes the lending to the SME sector in Myanmar, but we do not have a specific data what kind of SME, what kind of business leading supporting to this green finance, the products means which can more support. So we still need the capacity building, how to certify and how to classify which kind of business can be the green business. And also there is no different treatment, I mean taxation or interest rate can to support the green finance businesses. So it's still neat. So the reason what I see that this lack of demand for green financing product, it's both public and also private acquisition are not yet part of the Myanmar strategic government strategic plan. And also we need Myanmar banking system and microfinance institution need credit assessment and risk management approaches to SMEs, which is for the developing the green finance thing. So in order to create the green finance in SME sector, we need qualified investment under the future green system of Myanmar. We need both from the support from the government and also international donors to identify the green growth potential of the country. So I learned from others also saying the scientific approach, that the first speaker I had that to find out the business, which are the green system. Yeah, this is the really needed in for us in Myanmar. And yes, longer tenors, this is I learned from another also. Yes, currently in Myanmar, due to the situation, as you know, like political changes, and also the very high inflation, most of the MFI, the banks, they cannot provide the longer tenors loans to such kind of specific products. So it is also a requirement that they just support to the seasonal crops for the shorter term only. So Yeah, maybe my discussion may be short because I want to learn from others more. But this is the situation what we have, and in Myanmar we more need the technical support as well as the capacity building to understand what are the crime financing businesses, identify, classify, and also different approach and different treatments other than other businesses. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One of the important thing you have raised over here, possibly we need to take it forward, is understanding the green growth potential in this Asia Pacific region. Yes, it is very much necessary. And once we understand that one, then it will be helpful for us to do the investment advocacy, policy advocacy, everything. Thank you very much. You have been always wonderful to hear. Thank you. So now, if we can go to Lao, in Lao, Tantila is there from the director of Lao Microfinance Association. I couldn't address it properly, possibly. If it is Mr. or Miss, I don't know. Sorry. Tantila, you are there.
Hello, could you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Actually,
My name is Chantila from Agricultural Promotion Banks from Laos. Thank you so much for inviting us to this meeting. And I'm really sorry our managing director could not attend this meeting because he is in the duty in Europe at the moment. And the time difference is quite difficult for him. And also for the comment from us, since I'm not working in this area, so I could not answer and with this topic. Yeah, it is
perfectly
quite
fine.
difficult. But if it's possible, could you please like send us some information later so I can send it to our MD to have a comment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's not at all a problem. We always learn from each other. That's not at all a problem. So now we are going towards the end. Let us hear from Sri Lanka. Mr. Dhamma is there from Bank of Ceylon. I am seeing that you are there, Mr. Dhamma. So you are not there. I mean, since we are not getting you, can we go to Vietnam? From Vietnam Bank of Social Policies. One thing from Vietnam, Nan Pan.
Mr. Nan Phan Chu from BVSP.
Yes.
He's the director of communication. Welcome, sir.
Okay. So you have to unmute yourself. Acha, he's there. Yes. Right in the corner.
Yeah. Unmute, please.
Sangeeta, you can unmute. Yes.
I'm not able to speak. You're not able. You're muted actually.
You are on mute.
Can you unmute it from your side? So again, you can see whether. Acha, he's not able to speak. Okay,
okay, no problem. So he has written that he is listening the communication conversation. Thank you very much for being here. So now we'll be going to SIDBI. SIDBI being a development, very progressive development finance institution to develop the whole microfinance sector of India. They do have significant contribution in it, in changing the models, in changing the legal forms. And it is one of those institutions where many of us can learn that how development financial institution can be working to support the whole ecosystem. We do have 2, 3 like this. One is NABARD, another one is SIDBI, another one is Mudra. So are we looking forward from Mr. Rajiv Kumar that what's your view on this? So what are you seeing as, like overall Indian industry? What are the challenges you are seeing for promotion of green financing, climate resilient financing, and definitely what would be the way forward? It will be good to hear from you. Over to you, Mr. Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I had very nice interactions. I had a lot of to learn from various countries. In respect of India, we all know India is quite vulnerable to climate change, and particularly the MSME sector, micro, small and medium enterprise sector, is the most affected from the climate change. And SIDBI has understood this, and SIDBI has set up a exclusive green climate finance vertical, which is focusing on making the MSME sector greener. So we are basically working with the MSME sector, and we have initially started with the direct financing of the MSMEs, and we have set up products, financial instruments, the processes. As we are all aware, green financing requires different kind of financial instruments, and as also the processes. And we need for green financing a robust technical assessment of the project, risk assessment, and also ESG framework, which should be designed as we cannot borrow the BRSR as it is. We have customized the ESG and adopted the same for our green financing. And during the past 2.5 years, we have created a robust portfolio. We have tested the processes, systems, and created a portfolio of around 6,000 loans, approximately 7,000 crores worth of portfolio under green financing. And so far, the focus has been only on direct financing, and also the focus was on the testing of these instruments, the processes, etc. And SIDBI has created a digital stack, a digital process of sanctioning and processing these green loans. We have created a digital stack of technology, wherein 900 clean technologies have been put in that digital. So whosoever any MSME going for purchase of those technologies, the technical assessment is almost automatic, and the borrower needs to input certain data, and based on that there is an automatic technical assessment, and which is then re-verified by the technical teams, central technical team, which SIDBI is having. So so financing we have already done. Parallelly, we have also understood that besides financing, there is a need for a lot of technical handholding, and in the particularly in the lower M and the S side, the micro and small segment, there's a lot of handholding support, technical handholding support, which need to be given to these segments so that they can first understand what is green and then adopt them. And for basically making them adopt also, we need to provide certain incentives in the form of innovative financial instruments, as well as the blended finance instruments, etc., has already been talked about. So SIDBI is basically in the area of financial instrument. We have been experimenting with blended financing facility, wherein we are providing highly concessional loans to the MSMEs for going for green projects. Second, we are also operating risk sharing facilities. So wherein besides doing the technical assessment of the project, we also provide guarantees to the banks and other institutions who are willing to lend to these green projects. In fact, since somebody is there from Dr. Karan is there from Apollo, I would just like to cite the example of Apollo hospitals. So for Apollo, making the Apollo hospital energy efficient and better, they have availed the service of energy service company. It's a basically technology company. They've got technologies and processes which can implement energy saving measures in the hospitals. So they were working with hospital chains, and no bank was lending to them because assets which were being created were at the third party location. And moreover, this technology company, the ASCO, was not having, a very credible balance sheet. It's a small company of some technical experts. So with our risk sharing facility, we supported that company to execute some of the projects. Now I think they are working with the entire chain of Apollo hospitals for making them energy efficient. So similarly, one more example I'll give, we are working with Self-Employed Women Association, SEWA. So for SEWA, we are helping them, their sisters, to adopt electric vehicles. So we basically first helped around 10 sisters by providing them viability gap funding. So we provided, viability gap is the difference between a petrol scooter and an electric scooter. Around 40 to 45,000 rupees was the difference which was provided to them so that they purchase electric scooters instead of a petrol scooter. So 10 sisters purchased, and after 3 to 4 months, we have got a high level of demand from SEWA that many of their sisters are now interested to purchase those electric scooters. And now we have basically devised a financial instrument with an NBFC, with two NBFCs rather. So we have placed certain reimbursable grant funds through SEWA with these NBFCs so that these NBFCs can lend to these SEWA sisters at much below the market rate. So I think we need to bring in these kind of innovative financial instruments for working with the microfinance sector. Secondly, I think in the adaptation side, there is also a lot to be done in working with the communities and the microfinance institutions. SIDBI is also, as I said, so far our focus was on direct financing, but this year onwards, we are also diverting our focus to indirect financing, that is through NBFCs, MFIs, etc. And we are basically an accredited entity of Green Climate Fund, and we are discussing with Green Climate Fund to devise a suitable facility for working with MFIs and NBFCs and small finance banks so that we can work with the micro enterprise sector, so for greening them. So having said this, I think many speakers have already told capacity building, sensitization, etc. are very important. And also MFIs would need to also take it as in a mission mode. SIDBI had adopted these 5 missions 2 years back: Mission Solar, Mission Energy Efficiency, Mission E-Mobility, Missions waste to environment, waste to energy, and the technology stack. So if we can take up these kind of activities in a mission mode, I think there could be there could be results which can be scalable. So with that, I'll stop here. We'll take all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. It is good to hear from you And many of us, we were seeking for this kind of product, this your blended finance, then your guarantee. It would be good also to learn from SIDBI and NABARD, I mean in this Asia Pacific region, that how these development finance institutions are supporting, what's their view, and how can this sector, this microfinance sector, can be working with them. Thank you very much. It's good to hear from you. And then when we are talking about this assessment of the project, assessment of the institution, it leads me towards Mr. Agya Tripathi. So Agya is basically representative consultant to Agent for Impact. They have some tool to assess the institution. Even self-development can also happen. So over to you, Agya. Briefly,
thank you, sir.
Good presentation.
Sir, thank you. If we have time, then I can take you through a small presentation. Otherwise,
we actually do not have much time. You can briefly, and then we can take it forward.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. So thank you, Sadhan and Apraka, for inviting us. And I take care of basically the sustainability and ESG impact assessment of the projects, and for the organizations who are looking forward for impact funding. Largely, we are working in like more than 33, 34 countries in six regions. And the kind of conversation and the kind of discussion which is happening here on this platform from since morning, what I have understood is that we all know that what are the lacunas, what are the issues. And we also understand that this is something which is not going to die down this time. This is something where most of the regulatory bodies and the private sector institutions, everyone is looking forward to it, and everybody wants to know that how to take things forward in a way that it becomes more and more sustainable and more responsible. Whether we talk about green finance, whether we talk about SDG bonds, climate funds, whatever, or catastrophic funds, all these funds are there. But at the time when investors look at institutions, whether the institution is ready to take that fund, I think that is the place where Agents for Impact comes into place. We are based in Germany, and how we assess institution, that is something we also try to make institutions learn through one of our tool, which is called Afisar Lite. And Afisar Lite is a small self-assessment tool which we are bringing in for Asia Pacific market, because many institutions always complain that the tools, the full-fledged tools, are very expensive. We do not know how to do it. So what we are trying to see, that even institutions who want to check whether they are sustainable or not, whether what kind of policies are available with them, what are the initial steps towards with which actually they can start their journey towards sustainable finance, or towards receiving climate change funds, or towards receiving green finance funds, green finances. I think the first step towards it is to firstly understand that, yes, are we ready to take these funds? That is the first step. So what we are doing is we are helping institutions that you can just answer 30 questions. And these 30 questions will help you understand whether you are sustainable, not sustainable, or what steps you should take, so that from the investor point of view, you will be seen as a sustainable institution. Now, when I talk about sustainability, it talks about your ESG sustainability, where your environment, your social sustainability is also in place. We are not getting into the financial sustainability of the institution. That is something which institution themselves know, and they have, and most of all the institutions do have their checks and things, checks and balances in place, that how to check the financial sustainability. But because we are sitting in Eurozone and we are working with climate change, climate change finance people, or those who are sitting on a huge amount of money which is ready to be invested in the institution, the problem these institution faces, they are not able to find MFIs and banks and other type of financial institutions who can take these funds. So on one hand, there are institutions who are looking forward to these funds. On the other hand, there are institutions, they want to invest these funds, but there is a gap. The gap is about the institutional readiness, whether institutions are ready to take these funds or not. Now, who is going to tell us? I think the platforms like Apraka, the associations like Apraka and Sadhan, coming together and bringing these funds or bridging the gap between the institutions who are looking for these funds and those who are the impact investors. I think the institution can play a big role into it, and to see from a perspective that from where ADB is looking at it, or from where the IFC is looking at it, I think first thing is to get aware about these terms. Wherever you are, in whichever institution you are working or whichever institution you are representing, I think the first step towards it is take the board members, the CXOs and the CEOs, all those people, and make them aware, do the capacity building exercise, that how this green finance is going to affect their overall portfolio. There should be some environmental strategy. We, as a microfinance institution, we all have social strategies in place. But the issue is this data is not with us. If somebody wants that, okay, what kind of social impact you are making? We do have stories, but these stories do not have numbers. Even if they have numbers, it is not associated with the kind of social impact and the economic impact it is creating. So do some research, do some data collection, use some data collection tools, which is going to help you in showcasing your business case, that if somebody is putting in $1 with you, what kind of economical impact you are creating, what kind of social impact you are creating, and what kind of environmental impact you are creating. If the answer is 1.3x of $1, it means what amount of impact can we remunerate, or what amount of impact is coming from social or from environment or from some other activity. So this is how the Western world is looking at this whole thing, that what kind of returns they are expecting. So firstly, we need to understand their knowledge or their language, and then we need to be ready for that. I think the first step towards it is the capacity building awareness. And maybe if this tool is called Afisar Lite, we are surely bringing it forward with the help of Sadhan and Apraka in the near future. And if you want to use it, if you want to take it, it is going to be a very simple tool. You have to answer some 30 questions, some 30 indicators will be there, and institution can download a basic certificate. Yes, we are sustainable or we are not sustainable. We have already done more than 75 ratings, so we have the understanding that how the data look like. We also have the inter-regional comparability. We have inter-country comparability. We are also present in Asia Pacific region. We have invested with the help of different institutions with whom we are working. We have invested in Cambodia, we have invested in Myanmar, Indonesia, and one more, Vietnam. In these 4 countries in Asia Pacific region, we have invested good amount of money. Largest number of client is in India, definitely. And we are looking forward for investing, calling more investors to invest in. And wherever we can help you out, wherever we can support you in terms of getting your sustainability rating, definitely we are looking forward to it, sir.
Thank you.
So
thank you very much. So it will be a wonderful thing that if with your light, if the institutions, they can understand where are they standing. At least first cut of understanding will be there. Then they can take it forward, and this possibly is a free tool, right?
So it is Afisar Lite is going to be a free tool, sir, for all the member institutions of Apraka and Sadhan.
So this is where we are standing. Then after that, when you are understanding, you are having some understanding where are you standing, you can go for the deeper one. You can also take. So the tools, everything is there, what I could say, but only we need to bring convergence. And the one of the activities of any association is to bring together people, work together, develop the industry, help the industry, and take it to next level. We have a different kind of institution in this discussion, which is Apollo Hospital, Dr. Karan Thakur from Apollo Hospital. It would be good to hear from him that, how are they contributing in this? he has already listened the deliberation. He has understood the challenges. He has understood the processes, everything. Now, I would be extremely happy to understand from him how is Apollo Hospital contributing in this whole ecosystem.
He's a practitioner.
Yes.
He's a practitioner. We'll get hear from him.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to address your question from two aspects. One is from the Apollo Hospitals Group, and the second is broadly from the sector as a whole in terms of where we are on mitigation, adaptation, and resilience building. For us in the healthcare sector, the climate crisis is a health crisis. Even before it is an issue of migration, livelihoods, etc., it is a health crisis because the impacts are being felt directly. Now, there is a bidirectional relationship that climate change has on health. One is climate change is inducing changes in health patterns. We are seeing that through vast changes in vector-borne disease or the air pollution impact, so on and so forth. And second is the impact, the footprint that the health sector has and therefore contributes towards the climate crisis. Now, at Apollo Hospitals, as Mr. Rajiv had highlighted, we've taken multiple steps on the mitigation side where we are trying to reduce our carbon footprint. The first step in that was, as Mr. Tripathi was saying, was to do an analysis of what your footprint looks like. So we have a very good analysis of our scope 1, scope 2 and aspects of scope 3 emissions. And this has led us to now creating targets for all our hospitals and other divisions like pharmacy to reduce our carbon footprint. But I'd like to just step away from this and highlight challenges which are going to be useful or opportunities which are going to be useful for this particular group of experts, which is that the value chain contributes the maximum towards our emissions. And as we know, under the BRSR mandates and other mandates of the Government of India, they are expecting us to source as much as we can from entities that are in aspirational districts 1 and number 2, which are in the MSME umbrella. Now, we find that there is a challenge when we reach out to them with our metrics and our expectations in terms of sustainability or having ESG compliance, that these small suppliers or suppliers from aspirational districts do not have the wherewithal to go green. And we know without green, there is no green. So they need access to funds. They need access to small capital, which can actually help them set up their own manufacturing or products and services that can then be added into our value chain. So one is, how do we support the small and medium enterprises? They have capacity challenges. It would be very unfair for large corporate hospitals or the organized healthcare sector to let go of these small suppliers because they don't have access to funds to transition to becoming green or to look at new products and services. Second is on products and services, we have a problem of substitution. Unlike many other sectors that can easily move to other low carbon alternatives that are available, we in healthcare, because patient care is sacrosanct, cannot do that. We need more R&D funding to go into these new researched and proven safe products, both on the adaptation side and on the mitigation side, but also on the patient care side. Last, in the interest of time, I'll just raise the third point, which is on community level initiatives, and this is broadly for the health sector. We know that most of Indian healthcare is delivered by small nursing homes, some to the tune of only 25 beds. This is where the bulk of delivery, especially in the private side, is being done. These institutions need access to various green financing mechanisms to do solarization, to do other mitigation projects, and they do not have either the wherewithal or there is a lack of taxonomy for them to really write out good projects and submit them to banks. So I think that's one area of work where we can jointly work both at the health sector side, since I work with the associations and with experts like yourselves, to see how we can at least create templates for smaller hospitals to access these funds. And three important points on the community. One is the need for investing in surveillance tools, especially in rural and semi-urban communities, to better predict what is going to come in terms of climate change and its impacts, or work with organizations like the meteorological department to look at early warning surveillance. One Health is going to be a major challenge. We are seeing zoonotic infection spread. Can we spend more money or align funds towards the One Health concept, where we look at it health from planetary, human, and animal health. And lastly, we've seen vaccine security was a major issue. How do we make our healthcare more resilient? And some of this could be through having adequate inventory and stocks, which again could be part of larger projects coming under green financing to make healthcare sector more resilient. So I'll just pause there, but wanted to share some insights of where we are as a sector and going forward, what areas of focus could look like. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karan. So now, all of us, we have actually spoken, we have deliberated.
Islam is
who is there?
Hamidullah. Bangladesh.
Hamidul Islam, yeah, from Assam. Is he?
I think he's
Indradev Pandey. Who is he? Acha.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah, you can.
I am from Assam, Bangladesh. I joined from a remote area of this country. Now I am on a car. I joined this virtual meeting to learn from other, but I am hearing from many others speakers. Actually, in our country, with our organization, we have no individual specific project or activities against the climate change problem. But we are working against the climate change problems indirectly through our agricultural wing and agricultural activities. We are giving green, providing green financing loan in our country. If we see our loan scheme, 70% loan are going to the agricultural project in our country. We introduced some project in within our organization, like that vermicompost to develop the soil condition of the farmers, and we are working. Somebody are saying like that they are giving the loan to the electrical scooter. In our country, we provided 3 or 4 lakhs electrical scooter driver. That means our borrowers who are involved with the electrical scooter driving. We are working with another some like that green financing or indirectly climate change activities. Thank you very much.
One representative from Sri Lanka, Mr. Dhamma.
Is he able to? Dhamma, are you there?
Vijayavardhana. Mr. Dhamma.
From Sri Lanka, we have 2 representatives, I suppose.
That's one. So Dhamma is, I'm not seeing him once again.
Okay.
Now I'll like extend 5 minutes for you people, that if it is the platform to share the experiences, share the knowledge, share our what do you call it, like aspiration. So anybody from any country wants to ask other colleague about something, we can have 5 minutes on that one. It is not very facilitated by someone. It is to understand from each other. Anybody wants to have any question, any insights? From
Yeah. I think there is a hand raised.
If you give me some time, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
I have a question to Mr. Gunendra Das. he made a remark at the end of his speech. Maximum women enterprise or real entrepreneur is real entrepreneur. Like that, I asked.
Yeah.
I want to ask him what percentage of the women are directly involved with the entrepreneurs. In our country context, 90% borrowers in our countries are women, but they are taking loan from MFI, and after they're taking the loan, they hand over the loan to their husband or female member of the family. A few number of women are directly involved with the direct enterprise. So I
Yes, yes, I
want
think your
to
question
know
is clear.
the status of the, most probably from India, what's the percentage of the directly involved or the women with the enterprise? Thank you.
Now, your question is very clear, but
Yeah.
Gunanidhi Das is based in Papua New Guinea. So it's not a South Asian context. So that's a purely
I joined
different
late
context.
due to rough weather in our country. I am from Magura, from a Upazila level, so I did not get the real
Yes,
information.
no problem, no
from the
problem. I
Gunanidhi.
think Mr. Pandey has a question. Please go ahead,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Pandey.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for providing an opportunity to ask a question. I'm ESG officer of Utkarsh Small Finance Bank. I have gone through the viewpoint and practices of across the different countries, but I'm facing a challenge and how to address all those things that during discussion it was raised that BRSR has been adopted here in India to address all the reporting framework. So no one has explained that how to report the things, because we are doing a lot of things, but to document and to represent the achievement, it is very much required that we must have a comprehensive framework or a structure to address, to disclose that what we are doing and what are our objective and where we have achieved. So can someone give some brief outline or guide us to address all those things? Because there are different practices of reporting, the GRI, BRSR, and other framework structures are also there in like SGX and NASDAQ, UNSDG, ISSB. So how to address to have a comprehensive reporting mechanism?
Dr. Agya, can you?
Sir, so the issue is that this is evolving. I should say it's a evolving phase in Indian overall ecosystem. So when SEBI launched this, that BRSR should make a compulsory thing. Along with BRSR, there is also something which is called social audit parameters, right? So if you talk about India, there are like three
report.
social audit. Yeah, so there are three social audit standards right now. So for same thing, there are three different standards. One is from Chartered Accountants Institute, another one is from Chartered Company Secretary Institute, the third one is from Cost Management Institute. So you can imagine that no one knows the answer what you are asking, at least for Indian market. But yes, because most of the compliances and most of the regulations we are copying from the places where the money is coming. So if you see the green taxonomy, the Indian green taxonomy is directly or indirectly based upon the UK standards. So if you want to see how this reporting should happen, I think one of the organization you should also see is Citibank. Citibank has come out with a very good reporting framework which can be used by Indian microfinance institution or Indian financial institution for reporting on the sustainability parameters. The other part is with Tata Motors. Tata Motors and ITC, they both are again, they both have come out, means in past 5-6 years, they have improved on the reporting mechanism and the reporting structure. The only problem is if you start looking at these reports from today's perspective. You will not be able to understand it, and you will not be able to fine tune your reporting standard with it. What is happening is that you have to start again from the scratch. So firstly, you need to have a log frame in place. Then how you are going to calculate your scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. You should have a standard parameter, a standard framework. Then only you can comply with the local governance rules or local policies and those things. So there are two parts of reporting. One is the compliance, and the other one is that how much you want to showcase. On compliance basis, BRSR is perfectly there. You have to comply with it. But what kind of disclosures need to be made, that is something where still things are undergoing. I believe by 2025, they will come out with certain new things. And maybe you will see a standard framework by Ministry of Corporate Affairs that this is how you have to report.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else would?
Yeah, Sambat is there.
Sambat
who wants to ask something. So if you can, yeah, Sambat.
Okay, yeah. My question just a few related to Dr. Ayaya Tripathi and to the rep from the Indian. Like now it starts from the Dr. Ayanya. I understood that he said that here he institution has recognized as the eligible has the accredited entity, and then I would like him to share how come he granted this honorable recognition, and the last point I heard him said that for the Indian he follow the UK taxonomy. So how is the UK taxonomy different from the EU taxonomy? Thank you for the Dr. The Dr. Rajit. Okay, I'm sorry, I confused. For the accredited entity is go to Dr. Rajit, and for the taxonomy part is go to Dr. Ayanya. Thank you.
Sir, sorry, but you have to repeat the question because I'm not able to hear it properly. Sorry.
No. I can tell you the question what Sambat has said. Actually, she wanted to know what is the difference between the EU taxonomy and the India developed a taxonomy. Now you are talking about reporting without a taxonomy. So this is a great fun because still in this ASEAN, because they are Cambodia. So Cambodia is a part of the ASEAN. ASEAN taxonomy is yet to be finalized. I mean, they have done two times revision, but most of the countries have not yet accepted the taxonomy. So I don't know what kind of a reporting you are talking about without having a agreed taxonomy by the central bank or by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, even by the Ministry of Finance or Ministry of Agriculture. So she is also a little bit confused that what kind of a reporting you are asking about, which is the central bank, because they are from the central bank, no? They want to start some reporting. So that's what she is asking. Yeah.
So there is no fixed template right now. What the example which I gave you was something which is close to good, I can say, which is accepted, where institutions are following those different institutions. These are like private sector institutions. Green taxonomy as such in India, it is very vague right now. If you see that, do we have a very fixed rules and regulations around green taxes and other things? We do not have, to be very frank. But yes, we do have certain inputs in terms of BRSR. That is a kind of list of activities, what you should do, what you should not do. Then there are a list of indicators and parameters on which you have to report. But if you ask that, do we have a clear-cut tax indication and other things, we do not have. One of the reasons why we do not have and why this forum is very much important because we do not have a data which is transparent. We do not have clear-cut guidelines for different sectors, that which sector need to collect which kind of data and who will ensure the quality of that data. That is the biggest problem, because of which we are not able to come up with those regulations. One more thing which I want to add was that when we are investing as an investor, when we are investing in Eastern Europe, the institutional infrastructure in terms of MIS for climate change parameters, in terms of where you are collecting data for your E, S, and G, it is very much structured. The structure is there. But in Southeast Asia, the structure is missing right now. Although we have seen the GRI format, the SASB format, and TCDF and all that, but we are still trying to adopt. So I think we need to push ourselves towards these new things. We need to learn these new things, and we need to understand that whatever MIS we do have, we need to collect some data which is related to impact. Somewhere the quantification of that impact is missing.
I
believe you can add.
Yeah, I think Mr. Ghosh from NABARD, he has something to contribute. I mean, because NABARD has done something on the for developing a green taxonomy. Ghosh, can you just throw some light on that?
Yeah, thank you.
You will be audible.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it's an interesting thing. So that's why even I raised my hand, because we wanted to share our experience with this. So while we are all aware, of course, that at the country level, as of now, there is no green taxonomy, the taxonomy that we are talking about, neither from the DFS, not from the RBI, not from any other department. But the government of India, if we look back a year back, they have followed the ICMA guidelines while issuing the sovereign green bonds. In our condition, it has been our experience in NABARD. Like NABARD has developed a complete internal green taxonomy and we have the board has approved it, and we have circulated it for our internal understanding and assessment. Going ahead, we could be possibly using that to even reach out to the market for resources. That could be one of the things coming up this year. But yes, the closest in our kind of context is we had a look at the ASEAN, the EU, the CPI, the common principles, and the ICMA guidelines. But the core of our taxonomy hinges around ICMA, and we tried to take in a few best practices from the CBI and the ASEAN. But it by and large centers around the ICMA guidelines, which in our kind of operations we found the most suitable to understand in terms of whether a project is green, or if it's green, to what extent it is green. So that helps. So that has been one experience. Regarding the reporting thing, of course, there are a lot of developments happening. Companies which like organizations like us, who are not yet mandated by SEBI or any other statutory body, to come up with disclosure formats. But then TCFD is, I think, one of the most, for climate-related disclosures, that is the benchmark. Of course, ISSB has after the COP, they have come out with the revised reporting format, where they have tried to sort of marry the different disclosures of TCFD and the social disclosures. So that's coming up in a revamped way, and that has already been placed. So organizations are slowly switching. They have an option of switching to ISSB formats. But yes, the point, of course, is very well taken, that the disclosures possibly would be more meaningful if we have a stronger taxonomy in place. But till that comes, of course, the Reserve Bank of India has come out with the draft disclosure framework. So the financial institutions are going back to RBI with their thoughts on the same. Even we are doing it. So we expect we'll have a disclosure framework from the central bank. But till that happens, we can always use the existing frameworks, and they have been found to be reasonably useful for our kind of activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to share or ask questions?
Just one thing to add. So day before yesterday, IFRS and GRI, IFRS Foundation and GRI, they both came together for a standard reporting framework. So IFRS is International Financial Regulatory Standards.
I mean, one of the things we were discussing with this earlier, the primary thing that what are the parameters, and you know that one institution will ask for something, other institution will ask for something, other will ask for something, and these microfinance institutions, they will be perplexed that whom to, what to report, what to get from the field, how to report. So we were trying to understand that what kind of the reporting mechanism, what kind of parameters basically are there. It would also be good to, to understand the parameters, and if we want to develop parameters of this region, can also be good. It can also be done, possibly. Anybody else wants to ask anything? Otherwise, we are also.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we are also.
Excuse me, it's still my second part of the question regarding to the accountability entity, accountable entity. I would like to address to Dr. Rajiv Kumar. Could you please share your experience of how you've been become a accredited entity for granting the climate fund from the Global Climate Fund? Okay, thank you.
Can you please write in the chat box? Sambat.
Asking to Rajiv Kumar.
Rajiv, you can say something? Can you reply on to the question? Rajiv?
No, I could not get the question. Yes, we are an accredited entity of Green Climate Fund, and we are working with GCF to develop projects to bring concessional money to India. But besides that, I could not get the questions. If something else is, can you please put down in the chat box, please?
I just like you to share your.
Sambat, can you please write it in the chat box, because I think your voice is not coming.
Yeah, there's some connection. Okay.
So I think we have, we have exhausted our time also, and we need to wrap it up. So what we could understand from this our deliberation, and it was a good deliberation. Thank you all of you to really contribute and try to understand what exactly is it. And this is one of the most successful webinar, like your video conferencing on this specific issue. We are very happy that a lot of things are coming up, and we are also, as a part of NOMNAR, we are also getting to structure our activity. Couple of areas which we have discussed, like one of the scientific approach, including adaptation, where this finance, insurance, pension, recovery, and revival of the economy, this is there. Then there was a big segment of awareness and capacity building at different level, even at the level of savings and credit behavior. Then, reaching to the client is one of the areas we have to also look at. Then your technology, structured product, grant plus lending, and it is very heartening that that one person was asking about this, that this is the need. Other institutions, they do have already the product. Then one of this your funding, where this assessment of the project and assessment of the institution we have discussed on, and we got agenda for impact to respond on that one, that how to do this one, and they do have a tool already. And and also the guarantee mechanism. So these are more or less overarching things we could discuss, and taxonomy towards the end. Then what we could figure out that from this discussion, that one task force for the green finance, because there are certain gaps are there to understand. There are certain requirements which you need to understand from the regulator side, from your practitioner side, from association side. If we can develop a task force on green finance for this Asia Pacific region, would be good. Then second one, what we could understand that the study of the green growth potential of this area would be good to get. That if we do that study, we will also get to understand what's the potential, what kind of requirement is there, and it will help us to do advocacy for funding, advocacy for policy, these things. Third thing, it is very interesting that, in a couple of countries, in Myanmar, I think in Laos or somewhere, Cambodia, they do have some government's document. Government is coming up with guidelines. It would be good to get all those guidelines and have deeper understanding how are they looking for. Then the other one is we were discussing on the onset that bringing the regulators and policy makers together would be one of the areas we could do in from the platform of Nomnar. So this is from my side, and thank you speakers for participating and a very good, vibrant discussion. Now I'll be going towards this closer of this event. I would be requesting Dr. Prasun Kumar Das for closing remarks and vote of thanks, and then I will request Mr. Momin for his deliberation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Saibal, for your excellent moderating this the session. Although we have 8 minutes extra, which I think is worthy.
Right.
We could have stayed even a little bit more. But definitely we have come out with many of the options, and also the practitioners' viewpoints are really very important. We definitely need to work a little bit more on the areas which, as Saival has brought down some of the areas that we need to work out, and also we need to be a little bit close on exchanging the knowledge. So my request to all those who are who joined, or maybe we can send a letter to those who joined, that any documents, those who have the documents, we can share those documents. If not, it's okay. If they have any document which is already documented, either their website or maybe in the form of a book or report, I think that exchange will be very much useful for this kind of, for our next meeting, as Saival was talking about, a group or something, when we develop those. I think that's my take today. I really, learn also many of the things happening in across. And, when I last year, when I was working on the book on green finance to agri-food sector, I really could not find out most of the things as you are talking today. And if you see the book, we do not have much of the items or examples from Asia. So this is also very important, that we have to also exchange the knowledge and also exchange the documents, which will enrich all of us. I stop here, and I thank all of you for spending almost 2 hours with us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, one small announcement before we close. Two announcements. One is that this network which we have created on the Africa as a platform. Here, it is not only for microfinance network. The supporting institutions are also welcome to join that network, in the sense that association. So, like in India, we have institutions like NABARD, SIDBI, and all, who supports directly the microfinance institutions. Similarly, in Bangladesh, I know PKSF for similar kind of institutions which are supporting directly the microfinance institution. They can also be part of this member. In fact, we are writing to you separately. We have already written, I suppose. We will write again. So kindly we come to this platform so that we can jointly work together. That's number one. Number two is that we are having a national conference. Southern does a national conference every year. And this year we are planning to have it on 23rd and 24th of October at Delhi. And this year, our overall theme of the conference would be something around green financing. So it will be a kind of a continuation of what we are discussing today that will be taken to the national conference also. So I would request all of you to join this conference. So those are, last year we got around 35 delegates from outside, including a large contingent from Bangladesh. So I would request each one of you to please ensure that some participation from your countries are also there. So with this, I stop here, and I thank once again everyone, especially Africa and Dr. Prasoon for facilitating this kind of a deliberation on Africa platform. That is number one. Number two, I thank each one of you who have contributed, who have discussed, who have given your views, especially Mr. Anshukant from ADB and other members from other institutions, other countries. You have given a lot of inputs and a lot of insights into the topic, and I would really thankful to each one of you. I find this one of a very successful event. We could do it. As I said, this was the first event of Nominar, and this, I think it turned out to be a good success. As Dr. Prasoon said, if you can share the documents, I think already I'm seeing some documents, links are there in the chat box already. So if you can give that links and other details you have at your hand, we can consolidate them and we can make use of them. And as probably as Dr. Saibal said, maybe we can have a kind of a task force working together and coming out with some kind of a meaningful particular understanding about how to go about it as far as this issue is concerned. So with this, I thank each one of you and thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Das.
Thank you
for your all support.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Kapun kap.
Thank you.